I think it's really interesting how all of us store our seeds in different ways. So I figured I would share the way that works for me. I'm kind of frugal, so I drink a lot of tea. So I save the tea boxes and I use them in little categories like this. My categories are based on when the seeds are sown. Instead of like grouping all tomatoes together or all sunflowers together. For me, this has helped because in the past, I've had them all, sometimes even alphabetical in the past, but by the time I found them, I had missed the window of opportunity. So this has been the easiest way for me to do it. One other thing is I use these index cards. I just kind of had around the colored index cards. They do help a little bit with color coding, so I know that they're sown at different times. I have winter sowing, March sowing, seeds to plant after the frost in April. Those are my main categories. And I do like pull them all out, and I can spread them all out and look at them whenever I want. It's just an easy way to just kind of, plop them back in here and keep them in a little category without being too fussy. I will show you the actual big container box that all of these little ones go into. The winter sow category is for me personally, winter sowing in jugs, water jugs, milk jugs outside. And this is most of these need cold stratification. They need 6 to 8 weeks of cold. So I will start these in the 3rd week of January, usually. And those have all been out there since then. The next category is the March sown in jugs. And these don't necessarily need cold stratification, but I wanted to give them a head start. And I saw people starting seeds indoors with heat mats and grow lights. So I thought, okay, well, let me try the jugs and see if the warmth helps them grow outside. So these are some newer ones I just did. These are all mid-March. Then a couple of them at the very back I sowed just this week in my entry in covered containers with humidity domes to see if that will work too. It has some sun in there and it does get warmer than outside, so I'm trying that. I've mentioned in other videos that I no longer do indoor seeds. Just for me, it didn't work. I had a rack, I had lights, I had heat mats, I had fans. I had the whole setup, but I don't know if it's me and my attention span, but I don't do very well with that process and the bringing them out and hardening them off and then bringing them back in. If I had a better setup or it was closer to outside, that might work for me, but it really isn't. It's kind of like an extra den or spare room in our house at the end of the hall. So I don't really have an easy access to outside from where I was growing them. So anyway, I like to either direct sow or I do start a lot of seeds in April. Actually, that's this next container right here. I start these after the frost. I don't direct sow them in the garden because we have squirrels and a lot of birds, so the seeds never seem to last or make it when I've ever direct sowed. So I usually use small containers and I will plant them, especially things like there's rubenza here, marigolds, sunflowers, and zinnias. Those are my favorite annuals to grow, actually. Cosmos, zinnias, sunflowers, marigolds, things that are very simple to grow, actually. So that's this group. Those will be happening next month. In the back here, you'll see my garden and my garden too. These are usually the seeds that I save once they make it out of my entry and into those bags, and I'll sit and go through them. Like I have over here, let's see, red campion, my daughter's sea holly, coneflower. And I like these little containers because, as you can see, the commercial packages fit this way. But these little coin envelopes that I have, Black-Eyed Susan, these all fit this way. So it kind of fits a lot of them, actually. So that was mine. Let's see, the next thing. This is just a jumble. This was winter sown last year, and I put trials because some of the things, I just wanted to give it a try. And you'll see the brown packets in there too, the craft envelopes. Those were my seeds because sometimes we really don't know if our seeds are going to be viable, so I like to check on those. Ones I decided that I'm not going to do this year, I actually have a category in the box that has a tag that says, not this year, because I guess they're not important to me, or I want to try new varieties. And I'm very limited in my space in my small butterfly gardens. These are usually vegetables. And when I pick from the vegetables, They always end up in a bucket like this, and this is what I used last year. I don't want to bring the cardboard boxes outside. So I usually stick them in here, and you can see they're well used and loved. These edamame, I've tried these 2 years in a row, and I did not have any luck with edamame. What's over here? Cucumbers, peace vine tomatoes, more cucumbers. Let's see, there's carrots. I have 2 vegetable trucks. I don't grow a ton of vegetables. I only grow the ones I actually eat and buy, which are cucumbers, snow peas, bush provider string beans, some carrots for my husband, and then I'll try certain things like beets sometimes, or a squash or 2, whatever my limited space will allow. I just try new things, but those are my staples. Being in the little individual boxes, I can just, after they're done, and I don't want to really look at them anymore, even though I always want to look at my seed packets, I can put them all back in the box and just leave out this one on my counter or my table, so I know it's the next one in line to be planted. And it's always close to me and reminds me of what's coming up. So this is my tote where I keep all my seeds and my seed supplies, and it does look kind of messy. This box is kind of where I stack up all those little tea boxes, my little filing cabinet of the different seeds. I even tried to save some of these and like store some bigger seeds. These are canna lilies. I think I have like sunflowers. Huh, did I put a name on them? Yes, I did. But these are older. They're from 2021. Sometimes it takes me a while to actually get rid of seeds. Let's see, anything in here? Nope. So I just tried different methods over time. And I don't take all the boxes out, but I just like will remove this box and take it with me. It's small enough. So I guess I could actually store all those boxes in a smaller container, but this is so lightweight, I really don't mind picking it up and bringing it around. And when I say it has different supplies in it, I had bought this once. They're like little Tic Tac containers, and I thought that would be a great way to save seeds, but I don't have the patience. I'm kind of like, things are just too fussy for me sometimes. You'll hear me say that word a lot, fussy, because I don't want to take the time to be very precious and open that container and open each little container and try to get the little seeds in. So this is still sitting here. I may use it someday, but we'll see. These are older seeds, like from my daughter's yard, sometimes things I've collected. So I still have them in here because they might be varieties that I don't want to lose, even if the seeds probably aren't that viable. Sometimes the brown bags will make their way into here too. This bag, these are little bubble envelopes. I used to belong to a club on Facebook. It was the Great American Seed Swap. So I'd send them in these little pouches so the larger seeds don't get crushed when they go through the machines. And I can show you a little butterfly stamp that's special. And it's a hand-canceled stamp. And it's just for things like that where you don't want to crush the seeds. You can send them in envelopes, but they're sometimes, if they go through the machines, especially like a big seed like sunflowers, they can get crushed or damaged. So anyway, these are part of my seed collection supplies. And then in this box are the craft envelopes. They're I got them from Amazon. They're just coin envelopes. And when I first used to send them to people, I had like a little butterfly stamp and a little seed packet stamp that would, you know, list the date and the variety. It seems like a large box, but honestly, it's very light and easy to move around, and it just keeps my seed things together. When I'm ready each season just to take out the seed, I'll just lift this box out, and that's all my seeds. But it fits nicely in here. This crate is in my covered entry where I store the seeds that I've collected from my own garden. It's unheated in here, but sheltered. And this is how I collect seeds at the end of the season. Usually I'm just kind of busy and I'll actually just stick dried stalks in there and I will label them. And then in the winter, when I have time, I will go through the seeds. This is yarrow. But it keeps them dry and they're covered. I just use these plain brown lunch bags. Like I said, I throw them in here. I don't even take time to really write on them very nicely. as long as they have the dates. Let's see. I love when I put the dried stems in here. And I think, oh, I'll know exactly what that is. But actually, these I do know. These are hollyhocks. And I believe, these are not labeled either, but I believe these are lobelia, which is cardinal flower. It's red. Okay, so that's where they start. And they just kind of stay here until I can deal with them. This year, I honestly did not do too many. But in the past, I've had quite a few crates of these. These seeds go into the small coin envelopes that I showed you earlier. Well, that's my system. I'd love to hear about your seed storage and what you like about it. Thanks for watching.